So yeah, so these are just a bunch of percentages questions. So Logan has 2 tubs of beads. 5% of the 600 beads in tub A are yellow. 4% of the 900 beads in tub B are yellow. Work out the total number of yellow beads in the tube. So 5% of that and 5%. So that's relatively simple. 5%, we just need to find 5% of 600. And we need to add that to 4% of 900. So what's 5% of 600? I'll just use a calculator here. So 5% is actually the same as 0.05. And 0.05 multiplied by 600 gives us 30. And then 4% in the same regards is 0.04 multiplied by 900 equals 36. So 30 plus 36 equals 66. Cool. Next question. So last month, 15% of patients were late for their appointments. What percentage of patients were not late for their appointments? Well, that's 85%. Yeah, that's pretty simple. So 920 patients had appointments last month. Work out how many patients were late for their appointments. So 920 patients. So it's 15%. Because if 15% were late, it's 15% of 920. And as we said earlier, 50%, we can just write that 0.15 as like that. And what does that equal? Honestly, I should just have the calculator because actually, these are not calculator, but yeah. Anyways, so it's 138. Cool, lovely, nice. We're not really training mental maths; we're training percentages. That's my excuse. So a company is hosting a charity meal. 800 people work for the company. It is estimated that 70% of the employees will attend. So it's 800 people. I'll write things as we go down, and 70% will attend. So it's expected that if an employee attends, they will bring a partner. The cost of attending the meal is £9. So cost is £9. So work how much money should be raised for charity. So it's expected that if an employee attends, they will bring a partner. So 800 people. So 70% of 800 is gonna be 0.7 multiplied by 800 is 560. And because they will bring a partner, they multiply that by 2. And the cost of attending the meal is multiplied by 9. So 560 multiplied by 18. 2 times 9 is 18. I'm just going to save myself a little bit of time. So that's £10,080. Lovely, nice. The restaurant shares total tips between the waiting staff and the kitchen staff. 5 waiting staff equally share 60% of the total tips. 8 kitchen staff equally share the rest of the total tips. The total tips in 1 week was £1,600. Work out how much more a member of the waiting staff receives than a member of the kitchen staff. So 5 waiting staff equally share 60%. 8 equally share the rest, 40%, I guess. The total tips was £1,600. Work out how much more a member of the waiting staff receives. So essentially, we need to find how much they get. So 60% of 1,600 is going to be 0.6 multiplied by 1,600. That's 960. And then divided by 5. 960 divided by 5 equals £192. Damn, £192 per person is quite nice, actually. So, anyways, waiting staff get £192. What about kitchen staff? So 40%. So what's 1,600 multiplied by 0.4? And then we do 640. How many kitchen staff is there? Divided by 8 equals 80. Poor kitchen staff. So work out how much more the waiting staff received than the member of the kitchen staff. So 192 minus 100 minus 80 is 112. Cool. So Sean pays. Let me do this in light blue. So Sean pays £10 for 24 chocolate bars. Sells all 24 chocolate bars for 50p each. Work out Sean's percentage profit. So how much does he make to begin with? So he pays £10 for 24 chocolates. So he he pays £10 for 24 chocolates. So 24 times 50p gives me £12, and percentage profit is just change over so we need to work out Sean's percentage profit, and percentage profit is just profit over original. So in this scenario, it would be £2 over £10, which is 1 over 5, which is 20%. Cool, nice. So Jules buys a washing machine. 20% of VAT is added to the price of the washing machine. Jules then has to pay a total of £600. What's the price of the washing machine with no VAT added? So essentially, we kind of have to work backwards. So £600 and 20% VAT is added. So we have to actually divide this by 1.2. The reason for this being is because the original value multiplied by 1.2, this equals £600. This is because there's a 20% VAT added, and that's what. So then to find the original, we just do 600 divided by 1.2. So 600 divided by 1.2 gives me 500. So the original price of the washing machine was £500. Lovely, nice. Summer 2019 paper. Wait, why am I reading out the paper? Anyways, Marie invests £8,000 into an account for 1 year. At the end of the year, interest is added to her account. Marie pays tax on this interest at a rate of 20%. She pays £28.80 tax. Work out the percentage interest rate for the account. Okay, so £8,000 in 1 year. At the end of the year, the interest is added to her account. Bang. So Mary pays tax on this interest at a rate of 20%. So 20% VAT. More than VAT. It's not value added tax, it's completely different. Anyways, that's interest taxed. She pays £28.80 tax. So what is the percentage interest rate for the account? So 8,000 multiplied by let's call it X equals Y. And Y equals okay. So basically, this question is relatively confusing, mainly because you kind of have to work backwards like multiple times. So let's just write down everything we do know. So we know that she invests £8,000. So there's an interest added to the account at the end of her every year. She pays tax on this interest at a rate of 20%. Okay, so Marie pays and May's. Okay, so Marie pays tax on this interest at a rate of 20%. She pays £28.80 tax. So she puts in £8,000. She pays tax on this interest at a rate of 20%. So £8,000 multiplied by, let's call this interest tax, interest X, and this equals some value Y. And Y minus 8,000 equals some value Z, and Z is the amount of money that, or interest that she has. Because she pays tax on this interest rate, so Z times, she actually pays 20% tax, which is £28.80. So 20% tax is the same as multiplying by 0.8 because it's 80% left in the bank. So that's £28.80. Okay, so now let's just work backwards. So Z equals the division. So Z equals 28.8. So Z equals 28.8 divided by 0.8. And what's that equal? That's £36. So she makes Z times, well, because she pays an interest rate of 20%, so that's Z equals times 0.2 equals £28.80. And that's the amount of tax that she pays. So now we have to work backwards. So how much is Z? How much interest does she actually make? So now, because she pays interest tax on this rate at a rate of 20%, we do Z equals, not Z equals, sorry. We do Z multiplied by, well, the tax rate is 0.2 because it's 20%. And this equals £28.80 because that's how much tax she actually pays. So now it's just a matter of going backwards. So £28.80 divided by 0.2 gives you 144. So that equals 104. So y equals 8,000 plus 144. So 8,144. And then 8,000 multiplied by something. So x equals, because y equals this, so 8,144 divided by 8,000, because I just divided it, which equals 8,144 divided by 8,000 equals 1.018. So the interest, because 0.018 is the same as, what is that? 1.8%. And that's it. Cool. Lovely. Nice. So that's that question. Ceres wants to invest £4,000 for 2 years. Banks are us and the best bank. So there's Banks R Us. So should be a copyright on Toys R Us, I can't lie. And then the best bank. It's a very as in the best bank, and then there's the sad. So there's Banks R Us. Oh my days, that's should be some copyright infringement there. The best bank. Okay, we'll see about that. And then the Southern Bank. So we're told that the compound interest is 6% for the first year and 1.5% for each extra year. So there's 5% for the first year, 2.5% for every extra year, 7% for the first year, 0.5% for each year after that. So then at the end of the 2 years, Ceres wants to have as much money as possible. So I don't know if he or she or they. I'll just call them they for okay. Never mind. Which bank should she invest her £4,000 in? Well, if she's only investing for 2 years, let's see then. So banks are us. So number one. I'm just gonna say number one just because they're all kind of BBBB. So banks are us. So it's 4,000. The first year, what happens to it? We actually, because it increases by 6%, we multiply this by 1.06, which is the same as increasing by 6%. And then this, every extra year, gets multiplied by 1.015. And there's only 1 year, so it's just 1.015. And I'll do all the calculations later. For bank 2, it's 5% for the first year, so 4,000 multiplied by 1.05 multiplied by, and then every 1.025 every year after that, every subsequent year. We have 4,000 last bank here multiplied by 1.07 multiplied by, then multiplied by 1.005. Cool. And let's see what that equals. So 4,000 times 1.06 multiplied by 1.015 equals 4,303.5. Let's call it 60. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Now 4,000 multiplied by 1.05 multiplied by 1.025 gives you 4,305. Okay, so the best bank is the better bank so far. So let's see if the best bank is actually the best bank. So we have 4,000 multiplied by 1.07 multiplied by 1.005. 4,301. So I guess we should have just stuck with them. Wait, what? That should be 4. So maybe the best bank is the best bank then. So we say the best bank, the best one. Which bank should she invest in? The best one. Cool. So a company makes Christmas cards and birthday cards in the ratio 9-11. 26% of the birthday cards are made including a badge. The company made a total of 746,000 cards. Work out how many of the cards were birthday cards without a badge. Cool. So the ratio is 9-11. So Christmas to birthday. 26% of the birthday cards made including a badge. So 26% had badge. The company made a total of 746,000 cards. So the total number of parts is 20, and every part is equivalent to 20 parts. Is equal to 746,000 cards altogether. So what's the value of each part going to be? So it's going to be 746,123 divided by 20, and that gives you one part equals 37300. Cool. So 11 parts is going to be 37300 multiplied by 11 gives you the number of birthday cards is 410,300. So that's the number of birthday cards now. So 26% of them have badges. So multiply that by 1.26. So that's 26%. Oh, sorry, multiply that by 0.26 because that's 26% have badges. So 410,300 multiplied by 0.26. That gives you 106,678 badges. I wrote one too many sixes. But yeah, that's it. Cool. So how many birthday cards were there without a badge? Oh, without a badge. Okay, never mind. So that's with badges. Without badges would be 410,300 minus 106,678. So 410,300 minus 106,678, and that gives you 303,621. Or if I'd known we were trying to find the birthday cards without a badge, I would have done 410,300, and the percentage of cards without a birthday card is 74%, so 0.74, and Oh, and as you can see, they're the same number. Cool. Lovely. Nice. Sorry, this should be 2. Cool. Lovely. Nice. So our bag contains 9 green counters and 2 pink counters. The number of green counters is decreased by 40%. The number of pink counters is increased by 10%. There are now 96 more green counters than pink counters in the bag. Work out the value of x. So 9x green counters, and so green to pink, and 2x pink counters. So the number of green counters is decreased by 40%. So because it's decreased by 40%, it's going to be 9x multiplied by 0.6, because it's taking away 0.4, and this equals something. The number of pink counters is increased by 10% instead, actually. So 4x multiplied by 0.1. Sorry, not 0.1. 4x multiplied by 1.1, because it's increased by 10%, which is adding 0.1. So there are now 96 more green counters than pink counters in the bag. So 9x multiplied by 0.6 to 4x multiplied by 1.1. We need to work out the value of x. So essentially, as you can see, the best bank is the best bank. So for the next question, and then you have 9x multiplied by 0.6 in the ratio compared to 4x multiplied by 1.1. So in this scenario, it's relatively easy because 9x, actually let me just do 9 times, well, why is either? Okay, so from here, it's actually relatively easy because we know that there's 96 more green counters. So essentially, in the sense, we can actually kind of just, so because there are 96 more green counters, so this is actually really easy from there. Because there's 96 more green counters, in other words, you could say the difference so in other words, you can say the difference between the green counters and the pink counters is 96, and another way of saying difference is minus. So 9x, actually, let me just do 9 times 0.6, which equals 5.4x, minus 4 times 4.4x equals 96. So x equals 96 divided by, what's 5.4 minus 4? Oh, okay, that's going to be 1. But yeah, so x equals 9. Oh, what did I do wrong? Okay, so this question here. So a bag contains 9x green counters and 2x pink counters. The number of green counters decreases by 40%. The number of pink counters increases by 10%. There are now 96 more green counters than pink counters in the bag. Work out the value of x. So 9x to 2x is a ratio of green. Oh, wait. It's not the ratio, but there's 9x counters. Green has 9x counters and pink has 2x counters. Okay, so we're told that the green counters decreases by 40%. So decreasing by 40% is the same as multiplying by 0.6. The pink counters increases by 10%. That's the same as 2x multiplied by 1.1. So they're told that there's 96 more green counters than pink counters in the bag. So it's relatively easy. What's this say? As if it says 96 more green counters, you could also just say the difference between the green counters and the pink counters is 96. And what's another way of saying difference? Subtract. So if you subtract, what's 9 times 0.6? That gives you 54. So 5.4 x minus, it's going to be 2.2x, 2.2x, and this difference equals 96. So this equals 3.2x equals 96. So x equals 96. So x equals, so it's 96 divided by, so 96 divided by 3.2, it's 30, I think. So x equals 30. Cool. And then from here, cool, and we can actually check this correct. Cool, and x equals 30, and we can confirm if this is correct by just putting x back into this question. So x times 9 times 30 is 270 green counters, and what happens to it? It decreases by 40%. So 270 multiplied by 0.6 equals 162, and 30 times 2 is 60, and 60 1.1 of 60 is 66, and then what's 162 minus 66? That gives you 96. Cool, and that's the difference between the green counters and the pink counters. So the last question here. Last year, Joe paid £245 for her car insurance. This year, she has to pay £883 for her car insurance. Work out the percentage increase in the cost of her car insurance. So £245, £883. It really is. Life really is like this nowadays, because oh my days, the spike in the car insurance. So last year, Joe paid £245 for her car insurance. This year, she has to pay £883 for her car insurance. Oh my days! I'm telling you, car insurance is skyrocketed. I'm telling you, it's like the scam of 2024, man. But anyways, work out the percentage increase in the cost of her car insurance. So £245 to £883 is a steep increase, but it's not unrealistic. So we have £245. What happens to this? So so anything with percentage is the difference over the change over the original. So it's 883 minus 245 over 245. And this equals 883 minus 245. And 638 divided by 245. And that gives you 2.604. So it's a 260, let's just say 60% increase. Cool, and that's pretty much